The South China Sea just got louder, and Palawan is now on the front line. On April 15, 2025, thunder echoed through the ports of Palawan as U.S. military transport ships arrived, offloading war-ready assets: M1A2 Abrams tanks, HIMARS rocket systems, Bradley fighting vehicles, and hundreds of tactical trucks. This isn't just another joint drill, it's the opening salvo of Balikatan 2025, the largest and most hard-hitting U.S.-Philippines military exercise yet. With Beijing closely watching and regional tensions nearing a boiling point, this high-stakes deployment sends a clear message. The Indo-Pacific is bracing for a new era of power projection.
We don't merely stand shoulder to shoulder. We will train shoulder to shoulder so that we are prepared to operate shoulder to shoulder and, if called upon, to fight shoulder to shoulder. It is our desire that that is never required.
Just days later, the U.S. logistics vessel MV Cape Henry slipped into Palawan's waters, bringing with it an undisclosed but critical cache of military cargo. These types of ships are floating arsenals, known to transport everything from armored vehicles to advanced weapon systems and battlefield communications gear. Its quiet arrival speaks volumes. Balikatan 2025 isn't mere symbolism. It's a deliberate and calculated step toward enhanced readiness for real-world contingencies across the South China Sea and beyond. Balikatan, meaning shoulder to shoulder, is the Philippines' largest and most significant annual joint military exercise with the United States. But this year, it's bigger, louder, and more strategically loaded than ever. Balikatan 2025 brings together over 20,000 troops from the US, the Philippines, and multiple allied nations in a powerful display of collective defense. Key focus areas include amphibious operations, missile defense, and logistical coordination, with Palawan emerging as a critical staging ground. The early deployment of assets signals more than preparation. It's about projecting strength, enhancing deterrence, and ensuring rapid response in one of the world's most volatile maritime zones. The recent offloading of U.S. military assets in Palawan is far more than a transient operation. It marks a significant manifestation of the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, a cornerstone of U.S.-Philippines defense relations. The EDCA, signed in 2014, is a strategic framework that allows for rotational U.S. forces and the prepositioning of military equipment across key locations in the Philippines. This agreement ensures that U.S. military assets are always within striking distance of critical areas, enabling a rapid response in times of regional crises, whether it's a natural disaster, humanitarian need, or rising military tensions in the South China Sea. One of the key enablers of this strategy is the use of mobile logistics platforms like the MV Cape Henry, which serves as a critical node in the U.S. military's flexible and agile logistics network. The ability to rapidly deploy military equipment, such as M1A2 Abrams tanks, HIMARS rocket systems, and Bradley fighting vehicles, signals a deliberate, premeditated approach. The U.S. is not only present in the region but is actively positioning itself for speed and versatility. Whether it's to engage in humanitarian assistance, provide military support to allies, or deter any potential aggressors, the ability to maintain a persistent yet agile presence is vital in an increasingly volatile region. Palawan's strategic geographic location, sitting on the western edge of the Philippines in close proximity to the contested Spratly Islands, has now been elevated to a central hub for U.S. military operations. This puts the Philippine island at the heart of the most contested maritime space in the world, the South China Sea. By positioning assets in Palawan, the U.S. not only ensures quick access to the West Philippine Sea, but also transforms the island into a critical launch pad for deterrence. Its role is both geographical and geopolitical. The presence of U.S. forces in Palawan places them within striking distance of China's expansive territorial claims, sending a clear signal that Washington is committed to supporting its Philippine allies and upholding international maritime laws. This deployment is not just a military maneuver, it's a deliberate statement of readiness and resolve, in line with Washington's integrated deterrence strategy. The strategy combines forward-deployed firepower, enhanced allied coordination, and rapid response capabilities to maintain regional stability and uphold freedom of navigation in the South China Sea. By enhancing U.S.-Philippine military interoperability and demonstrating unwavering resolve, the deployment fits into a broader context of military strength and diplomatic cooperation that aims to deter Beijing's growing assertiveness in the region.
I can assure you, and I can assure all those watching, this is just the beginning of what will continue to be an incredibly fruitful alliance. So together we'll encourage our other partners and allies in the region to step up their efforts and their cooperation to increase defense capabilities and strengthen deterrence. We have already set a robust agenda for the next few years. Our staff and both of us are going to remain actively engaged. It reflects the strength, as I said, of our ironclad alliance, particularly in the face of Communist China's aggression in the region. And our partnership demonstrates our commitment to peace and security in the Indo-Pacific.
The EDCA framework is not simply about prepositioning equipment. It's a strategic initiative to enhance the military integration of the U.S. and its Philippine partner, ensuring that both can respond swiftly and cohesively to any challenge. At the same time, the deployment shows that the Philippines, as a sovereign nation, is no longer just an observer in regional security dynamics. It is a key player in shaping the strategic balance of power in the Indo-Pacific. Through its engagement in EDCA, the Philippines is aligning itself more closely with the U.S., but it is also actively asserting its position in the region, ensuring it remains secure and resilient against external threats, especially in the contested waters of the West Philippine Sea. This alignment, supported by increased U.S. military presence and joint military activities, transforms Palawan into more than just a logistical point on a map. It becomes a symbol of the Philippines' renewed confidence in its defense capabilities, underpinned by international alliances. In the context of an increasingly tense geopolitical landscape, this deployment signals that both the U.S. and the Philippines are prepared to stand firm in the face of Chinese aggression and will continue to escalate efforts to ensure the integrity of their maritime boundaries.
This is Chinese naval warship. You are approaching China's territorial waters. Please state your intention.
外进减速，向左转向。
The arrival of U.S. heavy military assets in Palawan under the Balikatan 2025 framework is already triggering geopolitical ripples across the Indo-Pacific. China is expected to respond aggressively, both diplomatically and militarily. In previous years, similar U.S.-Philippines military activities were met with stern diplomatic protests from Beijing, labeling them as provocative actions that threaten regional peace. That pattern is likely to intensify in 2025.
在这一大背景下，菲律宾伙同域外国家大搞军事演习，引入和部署战略战术武器，破坏地区战略稳定，破坏本地区经济增长前景。
Chinese state media and affiliated online networks have already begun laying the groundwork for disinformation campaigns, framing Balikatan as a direct threat to Chinese sovereignty and a destabilizing force in Southeast Asia. Expect an uptick in propaganda narratives, particularly targeting Filipino audiences, aimed at weakening public support for U.S. military cooperation and sowing distrust between Manila and Washington. On the operational front, increased naval and aerial activity by the People's Liberation Army, PLA, is almost certain. Based on past trends, China may deploy more warships and Coast Guard vessels near the Spratly Islands, escalate air patrols in the Philippine Exclusive Economic Zone, and conduct combat readiness drills as a show of force. In March 2024, similar movements followed U.S. deployments in northern Luzon, including near-miss incidents involving Chinese fighter jets and Philippine reconnaissance aircraft. China views the growing U.S.-Philippines security alignment as part of a larger containment effort orchestrated by Washington. From Beijing's perspective, the expansion of EDCA sites, U.S. logistics buildup in Palawan, and multilateral military exercises are attempts to encircle its maritime periphery and undermine its claims in the South China Sea. Conversely, the U.S. argues that its actions are defensive and in accordance with international law, reinforcing freedom of navigation and upholding a rules-based regional order. Meanwhile, regional players are watching closely. Allies like Japan and Australia, both increasingly involved in trilateral and multilateral drills with the Philippines, have expressed strong support. These countries see enhanced U.S.-Philippine cooperation as essential to balancing Chinese assertiveness. ASEAN's response, however, remains fragmented. Some members like Vietnam may quietly welcome the move, while others, such as Cambodia and Laos, maintain a pro-Beijing stance. Globally, the message is clear. The Indo-Pacific is entering a phase of intensified strategic competition. The Palawan deployments and Balikatan 2025 are not isolated events. They're part of a long-term deliberate effort by the U.S. and its allies to reassert influence and ensure deterrence in one of the world's most contested and consequential regions. For the Armed Forces of the Philippines, AFP, the deployment of advanced U.S. military assets in Palawan represents a critical milestone in their ongoing modernization efforts. Balikatan 2025 offers an invaluable opportunity for the AFP to gain hands-on exposure to cutting-edge military systems and combat tactics, especially in amphibious operations, missile defense, and logistical coordination. This exposure is crucial for building the AFP's operational capabilities in an increasingly complex and high-tech battlefield. Participation in these large-scale, high-intensity joint exercises enables AFP personnel to learn from the best, improving interoperability with U.S. and allied forces. It sharpens the AFP's readiness and ensures they're equipped to face modern combat environments, which often blend asymmetric warfare, cyber operations, and advanced missile threats. These exercises also foster real-time collaboration with top-tier military forces, enabling the AFP to gain deeper insights into modern tactics, command structures, and operational efficiency. Beyond training, the strategic value of these operations could open doors to further equipment upgrades and potential joint procurement programs with the U.S. This could mean access to state-of-the-art weaponry, such as air defense systems, drone technology, and advanced artillery systems that would significantly boost the AFP's combat edge. Moreover, technology transfers from the U.S. may bring enhanced capabilities in areas such as cyber defense, intelligence sharing, and communication systems, which are critical for modern defense strategies. In the broader scope of national defense modernization, these developments signal a strong commitment to a more self-reliant and credible defense posture for the Philippines. By aligning with global defense partners like the U.S., the Philippines is enhancing its strategic autonomy while still strengthening its alliances. Palawan, already geographically significant, is now elevated as a key logistical hub for rapid response to potential crises, both natural and geopolitical. Its proximity to the contested Spratlys positions it as a frontline outpost for any future defense contingencies in the South China Sea. This bold shift in defense posture sends a clear and unequivocal message. The Philippines is ready to stand its ground. The U.S. military's presence and the AFP's growing capabilities serve as a direct signal to China and any other regional powers that the Philippines will no longer remain passive in the face of territorial challenges. The arrival and offloading of U.S. military assets in Palawan is far more than a routine logistical operation. It is a powerful strategic statement. This move underscores the deepening U.S.-Philippine alliance while signaling readiness and deterrence in the face of rising tensions in the South China Sea. With the Philippines poised to strengthen its defense capabilities and position itself as a critical player in Indo-Pacific security, the stakes have never been higher. Balikatan 2025 isn't just about training. It's about ensuring that the Philippines can hold its ground, backed by advanced military assets and key international partnerships. If you found this breakdown insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to stay updated on the latest developments in Indo-Pacific affairs. As the geopolitical landscape continues to evolve, we'll be here to provide you with the most up-to-date analysis and insights.